My name is George Hansen, and this is the story of my life. Meu nome é George Hansen e o seguinte é a história da minha vida.
Perfeito.
We stayed in England a few weeks waiting to go across to France. And one day, it was one Sunday afternoon, I was walking to the next town all alone on a dirt path, and I prayed. And I knew that when we went over to France, you could get killed real easy because Americans had lost their lives there just a few weeks before we were there. And so I prayed. I don't remember every word, but I said, God, I've never been willing to say, I'll do what you want me to do, but I really want you to get me out of this thing alive, God. We just laid down when the captain says we're on our way. We got in the half track, and now it's dark, and it was about midnight, and we're in this long armored column, and the guys in the back with me, we just kind of, nothing happening. We kind of were dozing. And it must have been about midnight when all of a sudden there was this big explosion. And it woke us up. And we knew something had hit us. And I thought my leg's blown off. And I went feeling. And when I got to my foot, which was still there, I was so happy. And then I went to stand up, and I stepped in a hole. And right next to where my foot was, there's a big hole in the metal floor. And I didn't know it, but this guy sitting next to me was blown open, and the one across from him was killed also instantly. And I pulled my foot out of the hole, and they said, jump out, so I jumped out. And you know what? I ended up in an American hospital. They sent me back to the machine gun squad, but it was a new bunch now because 3 got killed, 2 were killed instantly, another one died, and another one went nuts from the strain of it all. And there were a bunch of new guys, and I guess the captain, he said, okay, George, now you're the squad leader. The captain said, George, I want you to go up on this little hill about a quarter of a mile maybe, and you fix a place for a machine gun and point it across the valley where the Germans will probably come after us. So I walked up the dirt trail and cleaned a place and walked down the same trail. And I told the one guy with the machine gun, one of the box of ammunition, I said, you go up there and where I cleaned it, you point your gun across the valley and get it all ready. And the captain said, George, you go in and, or he called me Hansen. He'd say, you go inside and take a nap. We've been up all night. So I did. And I'm just about to go to sleep when somebody brings a guy in screaming with pain. And I thought, what happened? And then they brought another guy in screaming with pain. And they were starting to help him. And the third guy they bring in was screaming with pain. And here's what happened. The guy with the machine gun on this same little path I was on stepped on a landmine and it blew his left foot off. And his buddy went to help him, and he stepped on another one and blew his right foot off. And there's a lieutenant standing over there, and he went to help the two of them, and he stepped on a third mine, and his face was all bloody. It kind of went up in his face. So there they were, all three of them. And I thought, well, how come I didn't step on a landmine? Thank you, God. If you get me out of this thing alive, I'll do anything you want me to do. I'd even be a preacher. I'd even be a missionary. I'll be whatever you want, God. And I really meant it. That was from my heart. I had been to Westmont for 2 years, and so I went back to Westmont with one of my buddies from the Army who decided to go there. And I knew then that I wanted to be a missionary, but I didn't know where, and I knew that I didn't want to go alone. So before too long, I met Joyce. And
how did you meet Mom? How did you meet her?
Well, they had a couple get-togethers with new people that had just come there, and she was just starting there, and I met her, and then they had a party at the beach with a barbecue or something, and I got talking to her down there, and little by little, we'd eat lunch together, and pretty soon we were very good friends, and I had decided that I really wanted to get married someday. And the more I thought about it, I thought she'd be great. So, one day we went for a walk, and I knew I wanted to be a missionary. But I knew that if she didn't want to be a missionary, that would make things different. So I asked her one day, I said, "Have you ever thought of being a missionary?" And she says, "No, I haven't." I was disappointed for a couple seconds, but then I said, "Well, if God showed you what you should do, would you be willing to be a missionary, go anywhere in the world?" She said, "I think I would." So it didn't take too long before I said, "Why don't we get married?" So we did. And then we thought, where do we go? And I first was interested in Germany. In fact, in Germany, God gave me a vision for going somewhere where people don't have the Bible, because I saw so many people that are homeless in Europe, homeless and hungry and lost. And I wanted to go somewhere and teach the Bible to people. And so we checked out different places. But one night, we got a job teaching school while we're waiting. And we went to Portland, and we went to a church, and they showed a movie about Brazil and the missionaries working there, how they help people with leprosy even, and they help people get acquainted with the Bible and God. And we both felt that's the place for us.
Grandpa, give me what's the word of the day?
The word of the day is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path.